Right. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day, episode number 113 of Shut Up and Grind with your host, yours truly, Robert B. Foster. So my guest today had a death in the family and had to leave the country to attend a funeral. So it's going to be a solo cast. Her name was Glory Ali, and we will be reaching in with her later. I believe she'll be scheduled for October 8th, but she's going to be talking about female entrepreneurs and helping them get to the next level. So instead, I'm going to talk to you guys and gals today about the power of being selfish and why you need to be selfish. So everything that you've ever thought about selfishness, we're going to debunk all of those myths right now, today. But first, if you are new to the show and you don't know who the heck I am, allow me to reintroduce myself. I started doing workshops and doing groups where I'm getting up in front of others, like outside of the gym setting, and talking about resilience and perseverance and goal setting and vision and taking action. You should know what 1 hour of your time is worth. You should know the value that you bring to the marketplace. You know what your passion is. It starts with clarity of vision. If you don't have the clarity of vision, whatever next thing you get, you're not going to see it through because you don't have the clarity of vision. So the point of my pain was being told you will never run or jump again. All that stuff, I was like, you know what, I want to be able to take this even bigger. If you know why you do what you do, you have to know how to charge for what you do. That's how you're going to change your life, and that's how you're going to leave a legacy for your children and your family. You got to know your worth. Okay, so as I said on that last slide, if you're looking for speakers for your event, let me know. I am available. So reach out, robertbfoster.com, submit the form, and then we'll talk about your event and if I'm a right fit for your company or event. So now we're going to talk about selfish. All right, because too many times we get this one wrong, but there's too many different definitions, and there's technically only one. So this is where we get this wrong. So we're going to look at this one here. I just did a quick Google search, selfish definition. And it says selfish, adjective, of a person, action, or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Okay, so I want to focus on that. Concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Okay, so now the part of selfishness we're going to discuss is the positive side of being selfish. So there may not be a Google definition of that word, but there is a Google definition for the word, or the phrase I should say, self-awareness. And I'm actually going to show you this one. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, so you can, I can't read that. Hold on, I got to go to the actual page. All right, it says, so self-awareness is conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. And it says the process can be painful, but it leads to greater self-awareness. So again, I want to go back to conscious. That means you're aware of it. Conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. All right, so let's come back here. So what does that mean? This means that think about most things that people struggle with within mental health. And now, again, I say this all the time, I am not a doctor, but I just have almost 47 years of being human and studying people. So I feel I am qualified to speak on this. But these people suffer from lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-care, lack of self-love. So those are four major areas where you need to prioritize yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. So going back to the definition that I just read, if you're doing something for personal gain, that's the negative side of being selfish. When you're doing it for personal development, that's completely different. Like, you want to put your personal development at the forefront, ahead of anything, ahead of your spouse, ahead of your children, ahead of anything, because when you're working on you, you're becoming the best version of you. And then your spouse is going to benefit. Your children are going to benefit. Your social circle is going to benefit. Everyone is going to benefit. When you put yourself on the back burner, you're doing yourself a major disservice. And now that I'm stepping into this life coaching, personal development kind of arena, I'm seeing it more and more that another self that people do is self-sabotage. Okay, it's self-sabotage. You sit there and you get in your own way and you take all the steps necessary to not get to where you want to be in life. But then when we talk about where you want to be, now the negative part of selfish, oh, well, I feel like if I do that, I'm just being selfish. It's like, no, you're not trying to profit off of something. Like, you're not trying to gain off of something else. Like, that's the actual definition of being selfish. What you're trying to do is better yourself by stepping back from all the noise and focusing on you. Then you can go back and better care for people around you. You can be a better wife, a better husband. You can be a better sister, brother, co-worker, leader, manager, CEO. Because now you're more aware of yourself, of your own needs, and then you'll start practicing self-care, right? So you have that self-awareness is the first step. It's like, what do I need to fix within myself? Because too many times we focus on other people who may be in worse off situations than us, and that just makes us feel better. But at the end of the day, you're not fixing you. It's like, how many celebrities out there end up with issues? Like, how many people who were born into money end up with issues because they mask the inner pain with things, and things can only take you so far. But if you're not aware of what you need on a personal level, on a spiritual level, on a religious level, because those two things are not the same, or just within yourself, like, you have to know what it is that makes you tick. And then you have to surround yourself with those things that make you tick. So, I've mentioned on the show many times that I was in the restaurant industry for a couple of years, and that can be a pretty brutal industry. Like, I always say, it's definitely, in my opinion, it's a single person's game, because the hours can be long, a lot of moving parts to it. You need last minute availability, have to change vacation plans at the last second. You have to miss stuff with the kids because, two people called out. Like, it requires a lot of flexibility, and I was able to do it. I was able to do it well, but inside I was over it. But you get stuck in that rut where it's like, I have kids now, I have a house to pay for, I have the cars to pay for, and, just raising the kids. So it's like, all right, I can't focus on me. Like, I have to do everything. I have to do whatever it is I need to do to handle my responsibilities. I got to be a man. And, like, that's what you're fed when you're growing up. So then once you're actually there, you really start believing all of that. It's like, holy crap, like, this is what I have to do. And there was this one day I was driving to the restaurant and I had a panic attack. Like, I honestly thought I was having a heart attack because my heart was racing. I started getting tightness. Like, it didn't travel, thank God, but I was pouring in sweat. I couldn't breathe, and I was on the highway. So I had to pull over, and I was like, this is not good. Like, this is not good at all. Like, I shouldn't be feeling like this before I go into work. And it was at that moment where I was like, I'm not doing the things that I don't want to do ever again, regardless over who gets offended by it. Because, like I said, if you're not taking care of you, you can't take care of anyone else. You can't. And I was at that place to where everything I was doing, it was annoying me. I would attend a party or a barbecue or something, and I just didn't want to be there because inside I was not fulfilled. I wasn't happy with myself. So I couldn't be fully present at these events. I wasn't fully present within the restaurant. So as I'm sitting there trying to train the staff, like, they weren't getting my best because I didn't want to be there. And so once I started prioritizing my health first, because I was always an athlete, and then in the restaurants, I didn't have a lot of time to play basketball. I didn't have a lot of time to work out or to run. or to do those things that I used to love doing, competing in track and field. I just didn't have time for it. And so I slowly started subtracting the things that weren't bringing me joy anymore. And I started adding in the things that were bringing me joy. And then everything started to change. And it even caused a shift in my relationship because, as I was in that mental state, it was, I don't know, I don't want to say it kind of made things good, for the person I was with, but I wasn't built to be closed in. It's like I was built to soar. You guys will hear me use the eagle reference all the time, even though I'm a Leo and I love me some lions, but lions can only dominate on land. An eagle can dominate on land, in the sea, and in the air. And that's me. Like, that's the cloth that I'm cut from. It's like I want to spread my wings and I want to fly. So getting out of that relationship was necessary for me to be able to expand my own horizons. And that's making me a happier person. She's moved on. She's a happier person. We're doing right by the kids. There's no infighting. There's no tug of war. We handled it out of court, but we're both in a good place. Like, we're both where we were meant to be. But like, had we not done that, then we'd probably both still be here together and miserable and trying to mask it with happy-go-lucky Facebook and Instagram posts. But no, we had to step back and we both had to take care of ourselves. And so that's the point that I want to get through to all of you, is that, self-awareness, self-love, self-care will lead to better self-esteem, better self-confidence. Focus on that level of selfishness and not the negative side, where you're just trying to use people or use situations for your own personal gain or profit. That's different. Those people can suck it. But the ones that work on their personal development, that's where you want to be. And that's what I can help you do. And as a speaker, if you're a manager, you're a CEO, if you run any type of youth group or women's group, and you need someone to come in there and bring the energy and help people light a fire within them, let me know. I am your man. I will do that. Reach out to me, robertbfoster.com, and fill out the form. And we'll see if we are a match. All right, so all I got for you. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Shut Up and Grind. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from this show. Robert has over 20 years experience pouring his knowledge and expertise at many events in the service and fitness industry, as well as secondary schools and universities. He has a true passion for helping others break through the barriers that are holding them back. To book Robert B. Foster to speak or to reach out, go to robertbfoster.com/speaks, on Instagram at Robert_B_Foster, on Twitter at RBF_fitness, and on Facebook at Robert B. Foster. Till next time.